Okay, so I saw a video of a guy organizing his workouts, which was kind of nice. Um, if you spend an hour on his video, I'm going to try to do this one in 5 minutes. He does burpees and a lot of full body workout. I do weight training and running. So this just to give you an idea is that I started running probably like a year ago, and I never ran before. I always played sports. So what I was trying to do was build up to, well, I guess a marathon. And so I started out basically just running as much as I could, which was about 3 miles, and I barely could even make that. But now, after about a year, well, less than a year because of COVID and winter and just time off, I have changed my running schedule to be a little bit harder. So I guess this is more of an intermediate. Beginner is just like, I mean, some people can't even run 2 laps or a quarter of a mile without getting tired, and I was one of those people. And the reason why I run is because of heart issues and kidney issues and other issues that good circulation and just being healthier helps with. And since I've ran, I have become, like, I used to have heart palpitations. I don't have them anymore, or just not nearly as much. And really it just became as I got older, well, that's not actually true, is that I just got out of playing organized sports. It was just much easier to stay with, well, it was much easier to stay with running, which I always hated because you can do it relatively easy and you don't need anybody with you, and it's just something that you can do every single day. And I do a lot of biking with it as well. Last year I did about 100 miles. But anyway, so I figured what he was doing is that he was giving you a schedule of what you could do. So it was like a workout plan to be with him. And I like that idea because I like I promote health, just because like when you're at a gym or you're out running, it's sometimes, I mean, the other times you obviously like to be alone, but it's nice when there's other people around that are healthy and positive and doing what you're doing, so you can kind of relate to them and talk to them. And so that's why I thought it was a good idea. And I've already done a shoe review, which I actually have 4 new shoes that I can review, because the one thing you will go through is shoes. But anyway, just getting into it, last week what I did, and again, this is, I guess, intermediate. I mean, you can do this to start with, but you're probably not going to be able to run the whole time. You might be able to walk it and build up to it. But last week, what I did on Monday is a 1.3 mile warm up with a 7.8 mile run. And I pick the same courses because when you're running and you're trying to gain mileage, it's really beneficial to have a mark where you can run past. So if I run to a certain point, the next day if I run past that, then I feel like I've made progress. If I haven't run past that, I realize that I either need to rest or that I need to prep better with my food. I mean, when you're starting to run up into the 10 miles or gone into the 10 miles, you're talking about hours and a lot of calories. So it could be anything from your prep all the way to you're just having an off day. But then if you come back the next day and you get a little bit further, it works out. Okay, so 5 minutes of, I guess, intro and 5 minutes of actually talking about it. So, like I said, I have I have a bunch of different paths. If I go, I have one where I have an out and back, and the out and back is the 1.3 and the 7.8 with the 1.3 cool down. And I usually, what the big thing is finding a pace with something like that. And so what I do is that I mix in short runs in between my long runs. So on Tuesday, I run an 8 mile, which is, makes no sense the way that I'm saying it, but I do progressive and regressive running. So like, some weeks I'll go from shorter to longer, and some weeks I go for longer to shorter. But the way that I have been doing it is I've been doing a long, consistent run mixed in with varying runs. So I did basically two 8 mile runs Monday and Tuesday. And on Wednesday, I did 1.3, 7.8, 1.3. On Thursday, I did another 7 mile run, which is pretty easy for me to do now. And then on Thursday, I did the long 1.3, 7.8. I don't know why I don't just say 11 miles. I did 11 miles Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I did 8 on Tuesday and 7 on Thursday. And on Saturday and Sundays, I usually take off. And Saturdays are my heavy lift days. Now, the benefits of weight training is more for the bicycle, being able to hold yourself up, which I kind of alternate to between running and biking. So throughout the week, I also weight train on Tuesday and Thursday. Now next week, I'm gonna do the exact same opposite, and I'm going to work out on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So 4 weeks of weight training and 2 days of long and 3 days of short. I guess this is I wrote it down, but it's confusing coming out. And so I guess what I need to talk about is how I got there, is that I used to eat a lot of meat, which I still am for, but I have a history of high blood pressure and heart disease and all sorts of stuff in my family. So I went to a vegan, which I've done before, and I went basically back to a vegan diet. And since I've gone back to the vegan diet, which is main point of a vegan diet is that it's low in cholesterol. And for doing these long cardio sessions, it has made a lot of difference just in the way that you feel. I do add cheese into it just because it makes it a little bit easier to just have a little bit of diversity. And I know it seems like there's not a lot of dishes, but they have vegetable meat or whatever that is. So you can make dishes like enchiladas is what I had with refried beans. I had burritos, I have salads. And then on breakfast, I have oats with egg whites. So what I also wanted to talk about in this video is weight training. And so for weight training, what is important, if you have a focus like running a certain mileage or biking a certain mileage, you need to lift accordingly to what you're doing. So you gotta stay focused. The reason you gotta stay focused is because you don't want to be overly sore doing whatever exercise it is you're doing. And so if you are going super hard in the gym and you lose sight of what your outside of the gym goal is, it can affect your progress on the outside of the gym. And the biggest thing that I try to say with huge long distances is to reduce strain when you're lifting, which I mean no jerking. And that usually means lifting super lightweight. And I know that most people don't like to lift super lightweight, but you shouldn't feel ashamed. And honestly, you're more of an example than you are a problem, because people that go in and set a bad example, that get hurt, the other people around them, they don't want to go in there and get hurt either, because they'll just replicate whoever it is. Whether you're a 13-year-old guy or you are, we have guys that are in there that are in their 70s and 80s and 90s. And my grandfather actually worked out all the way until he was 91 years old. Every morning he'd wake up at 5, be at the gym, and be home by 6:30, 7 o'clock. So in some ways, I really understand the discipline it takes. But what I'm trying to just stress is that you really have to, if you set a good example and you're lifting within your comfort zone, it's not that you won't get hurt, because you probably will, but it shouldn't be too bad, something you can work through. Something that, like, if you were lifting something around your house or just doing something around, anywhere, you would probably get hurt anyway. So it's just something, and it probably will prevent a worse injury in the long term. And I already talked about what I was going to do this week, but just to reiterate, and I'm not going to post this and I don't really care, but what I'm going to do on Monday is I'm going to do my out and back, I'm going to do my circuit. My circuit is something where I go around, and my out and back is further out and coming back, obviously out and back. But the difference between circuit and out and back is just the mental game. And if you actually do this, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Sometimes when you go to out and back, you can go really far out, and coming back is really hard. When you're doing a circuit training, you're really not any further away from your home at any point. So it's pretty easy to stay mentally focused, because if you have a problem, are really easy to get back to wherever you started from. So once again, I'm going to repeat. On Monday, I'm going to do the 7-mile run. On Tuesday, I'm going to do my out and back, which is the 11-mile run. Wednesday, I'm going to bump that up to an 8-mile run. And I apologize. On Tuesday, I'm also going to do weight training. Thursday, I'm going to do the out and back. And Friday, I'm going to go back down to a 7-mile run with weight training. No. Yeah, on Friday. And then on Saturday, I will rest, but I'll do my heavier weight training routine. Okay, so I went a little bit over, but really I'm not too organized with this quite yet. And I don't know. I think it's just like important to stress a couple things, because like the individuality of working out, there's some guys that say go as hard as you can, and they're like, don't show any pain. Me, it's a little bit different, because I do it more for like overall health. Like I don't take any, I basically take pre-workout, and that's about it. And I take protein. And besides that, I try not to, try to be as healthy as I am with what I put in my body. And I think that the thing that differentiates different training regimens is that people are actually pretty unique. Like some people do have problems with their heart, have high cholesterol, have blood pressure issues, and some people have certain organs that don't work as good as others, like I do. So the type of training and what I'll ingest and what it takes to actually succeed is much different for different people. So for me, that's why I am more stressing of the more, I guess you would say, natural bodybuilder, and why it's not even as much of a bodybuilding routine, which I obviously can put up some of the stuff that I do, because it's really close. I mean, obviously, if you're in the gym and you're lifting weights, it's some sort of bodybuilding. But a lot of it is like hitting muscles that are not tired from running, and a lot of it is certain motions that will help you to like maintain posture on a bike. Or like I still play lacrosse and I like to go throw the balls, so like just certain weird out of the blue exercises that really help you I don't know, I guess progress. And my biggest thing is that everybody thinks that it's about age, that you have to be too young or too old or whatever. And really it is that if my 95 or my 90-year-old grandpa can go to the gym and all the way, like every morning, then I really think that, you know, if you're complaining about age, that there's something wrong with you. So anyway, I will probably end up doing a video on shoes again, a second video, just because, like I say in the first video, is how important and how different shoes will run and feel different and impact your performance. Whether performance means how far you run or how comfortably you run that distance. So anyway, I appreciate the inspiration from, I guess I'll just say it, his name is Iron Wolf, and to help me more organize my video, because I'm not much of a social media type guy either, but I do get asked enough to where I guess I understand why he would have made a video, and I appreciate him organizing himself to inspire me to do so. So anyway, hopefully you can follow what I'm doing, or you work up to what I'm doing, and maybe I'll see you out there.